Am I the astronaut for refusing to help my stepdaughter with her fashion career despite owning a fashion company? My stepdaughter Mia, 23, has been dreaming of working in the fashion world since she was young. I was married to her father when she was 15. She took many courses to work on herself, and I must say she's good at picking fabrics and colors. However, she isn't good at designing. She's a good stylist, but not a good designer. I started my business 16 years ago, and it was very small and low budget, but I was lucky enough to expand it to where it is now. Still not the biggest company out there, but big enough in my region. Part of my expansion plan was to hire other young designers, and my team and I are quite selective of who gets the job and who doesn't because designs are products we sell. So it has to be good and pass the judgment of my team. This also means that I'm not the sole judge of who gets chosen. I prefer to hear what others have and decide with them. My husband asked me to have Mia as a designer in my company. From the very start, I knew Mia wasn't a good designer, but I told my husband to have her apply for the job and submit her papers for me and the team to look at, and we would examine her skills. I think he was surprised I said apply for it instead of an immediate yes, but he still told Mia, who sent a thank you text for helping her. I don't know exactly my husband told her for her to send a thank you text, but I replied saying that I'll be waiting for her application along with the judges to examine her work constructively and wished her luck. I honestly don't know to this day if my husband lied to her or if she sent the text to guilt trip me. I have no clue. Anyway, her day came and no one thought her application was on par with our criteria, so she was sent an email that she was not accepted. Let's just say all hell broke loose from here. My husband told me about how this is nonsense and it was unfair that I didn't accept her. Hubby, you get a red flag for that. I told him that I'm not the sole decision maker and I have a system in place for new applicants, but he wanted me to bend the system for Mia. If I did that, my credibility with my employees would sink and I'd lose them eventually. Plus, if Mia got in, her fellow designers wouldn't respect her because she'd only get in for being my relative and not for her skills that are far behind her fellow designers. It is a huge risk for me ethically and financially to include Mia. My husband proceeded to tell me the list of courses and work Mia has done to achieve her dream. I told him I understood, but she still doesn't have the skills to meet our criteria and she could apply somewhere else and get accepted. Mia later sent me a long text of how I failed her and she doesn't want to see or hear from me anymore. Mia gets this. Update to answer frequent questions. 1. Can she be a stylist or assistant designer? Yes, if she applied, she can. However, designers get to choose their staff and team, not me. So it is up to the designer to let go of their current stylist or not, or add an extra stylist. 2, she didn't reach out to me, her father did. So logically, I talked to her father, and when she went to me directly, I told her that she would be examined constructively so I wouldn't skyrocket her expectations. 3, can she be an intern or an amateur designer? No, because we only hire established designers, not students. 4, which is the most important, Mia didn't request help. She didn't request mentoring. She didn't request opinions. She requested a job at my business. That's an important one. 5, since she wanted to keep it strictly business, I gave her just that, a very professional setup. I expected she'd fail. I wasn't 100% sure, as I already stated there are judges. I believe that going through the process of professionalism, either getting accepted or rejected, is an experience and process everyone should have. Agreed. 6, yes, I can hire anyone and overrule all my judges. I chose not to because I abide by my standards and morals. So while I technically can, bending my set of rules will mark my downfall and hurt my integrity in the industry and within myself. Okay, the original question here was, am I the astronaut for refusing to help my stepdaughter with her fashion career despite owning a fashion company? I think the title is a little bit misleading. I think the title would be more suited to be something like, am I the astronaut for not giving my stepdaughter a job at my design company even though she's not good enough to work there? That would be a more applicable statement there. Either way, it is in TA. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, well, your son works at your business though. Caden Thunder does work here, but Caden Thunder earned his job and is here because he's good at his job. And I'm sure that he can tell you I am no easier on him because he's my son and works here. If anything, I might be more critical. And I think that here, Dad screwed up. And Dad's expectation of his wife to bend the rules and basically sell out to give his daughter a job, even though she wasn't good enough to hack it there, probably says a lot about how she was brought up, right? this is probably a participation trophy kind of kid, and she expected to be handed this instead of to actually work for it. If she really wanted to earn this spot, it would have been a reach out in the beginning to say, hey, I'm just getting started in this, or even 2 years prior to say, look, this is where I want to go. You have experience, you have success in this. I would love to get some mentoring from you. And she would have had the opportunity to develop those skills, which as OP says, she's got some skills. She just doesn't have the design skill side of it. So she would have had an opportunity to improve this. Now she's closed herself off to the most valuable resource she has in her life. Her stepmom has seen success in the area of skill that she wants to be in. And rather than asking for her guidance, she asked her for a favor. And when that didn't come through, because it wasn't just her decision, she could have overrode everybody and vetoed them, like she said, but it would have harmed her business. It would have harmed her team. It would have caused all kinds of harm. Instead of asking for the help to actually grow and earn that spot, she just asked for a favor to undercut everybody. I applaud OP here for standing her ground and saying no. And if she wants to earn it, let her freaking earn it. She needs to earn it. She has so many opportunities here to be learning instead of just expecting to be given something. And she's going to be better for it in the long run. And that's hard for dad to see here, right? Because dad's only looking at the pain that she's receiving right now and what he's hearing. And I'm sure he's receiving an earful here, probably from her bio mom as well. But it is going to be better for her. Let your kids fail. Nothing teaches like failure. Nothing. Let them fail. I think you only learn how to succeed when you fail. You only appreciate and respect success and hard work when you fail. It is so much better for her. Unfortunately, OP, you got a bigger problem now. You've got a bigger problem now because now your hubby is going to be pissed off at you for a long time for not selling out to do his daughter a favor. And you know that's not the right thing, but this is going to cause bigger relationship issues for you that you're going to have to work through. And you're also getting a lot of insight into who your husband is now, whom you've been with for 8 years. So you ought to know this about him already, but it's a red flag. I understand wanting to make your kids happy, but this is there's short-term versus long-term, right? The short-term favor that he was asking for his wife to do for her does not do her the most long-term good. And I think as a parent, you have to look at the long game and say what ultimately is going to enrich their life. Not in this moment, not what's going to make them happy with me, but what is actually going to make their life better when I'm long gone. And he missed that opportunity. So dad, he's at least a 2. I definitely shouldn't have done that. Is this a 1? Is this a terrible human kind of thing? I think for getting pissed at his wife for not doing it, even though he probably at some level understands the impact of what that would have done to her business because she explained it to him, which ultimately would have impacted his life. And then in 5 years, when that business is tanked because she sold out her quality standards and his daughter has no place to work anyway, what good does it do? I think for sticking to this and for expecting her to sell out, for miscommunicating to his daughter, for puffing this up, and for getting mad that she didn't sell out here, I'm giving him a 1. I don't think he's evil. I think he was extremely misguided, and it was a terrible thing to do. And it's a terrible position to put your partner in. And now he's painted her out to be the villain here. Instead of taking this opportunity to teach his daughter a hard lesson, or to let his daughter learn a hard lesson, he's just made her the villain. She's the bad guy. And that's it. And now she's a victim. Now his daughter is just a victim of somebody just doing her wrong instead of appreciating or learning a damn thing.